Ravi is an IIM alum who, at the peak of a successful international career in banking, decided to give it all up and switch to social work 5 years ago. He was the gentleman in the yellow t-shirt in Vijay's photograph, in case he's looking a little bit different now. In these 5 years, he has worked in the development space across India. He tells me that he's now stayed in over 180 districts of the country. Based on his experience, he is now working on a very interesting and ambitious project that has the scope to positively impact the entire social sector in India. In keeping with our theme of reinvention and doing good, I'm requesting Ravi to start by talking about his unique idea and how the IIM alumni can be involved. After he does that, he's going to be joined here on stage by the panel, Dr. Mukund Rajan, Chief Ethics Officer, Tata Sons, Professor Anil Gupta, founder Honeybee Network, whom we had the pleasure to meet earlier, Mr. Jo Liang Hee, Deputy Principal, Singapore Polytechnic, and Mr. Deep Joshi, NGO activist and Magsaysay Award winner. Ladies and gentlemen, Ravi Sridharan.
Still a little overwhelmed emotionally by Vijay Santanam's drawing rather fond memories of the way he's recovered, and he's done things which fully capable and fit individuals like me probably have not even managed to do half of what he's done. So thank you, Vijay, for that mention, and thank you for showing a healthier and younger photograph of mine. I just want to talk, like Venika said, about an idea that I'm working on. I want to start by saying that the development sector in India has a problem. And the problem is that there is an acute shortage of leadership and management talent in the development space. And this is not to do with there being a lack of good talent or good people to work in. It's a systemic issue. And by systemic issue, I mean that there are two types of people who come into the leadership roles. One is the specialists who come from the development sector, and a lot of them are really not sort of prepared for organization building. And unfortunately, all social work happens within organizations. If you don't know how to build organizations, scale organizations, that work can never see the scale and sustainability that it needs. And then there are people like ourselves who come from the business management side. And very often we use ideas and principles which are probably less appropriate for the social sector. And thereby there's this gap that exists on good leadership and management talent. And this is not just my view. I've spoken to at least 100 people, including some of the panelists who are going to join us in a bit, and they all believe that this is an issue. And if we can address this issue, it can make a huge difference to the entire development space in the country. And there's billions of dollars being spent in that space. An interesting fact that I learned recently, I still need to confirm it because these days on WhatsApp you get a lot of messages, but one of the messages I did read was that more than 50% of the CEOs of listed companies in India come from the IIMs, which was quite a staggering thing for me. And it just struck me that what we are trying to do, and we're trying to build this institution which will be an aspirational, high-quality, iconic institution. It's going to be called the Indian School of Development Management. And the Indian School of Development Management, which is ISDM, is going to try and do for the development sector what the IIMs did for the business and the corporate sector. Of course, for this work to happen, we all know a lot of the success of the IIMs lies in the quality of talent that they're able to attract, and then the ecosystem that gets built around it with faculty, with recruiters, with research, with industry bodies, and so on and so forth. So we need to build that whole ecosystem. And the starting point for building a whole ecosystem, if one looks at management studies historically, whether it's the Harvards or Whartons in the US or the IIMs in India, it starts with iconic aspirational institutions that attract bright youngsters to join. So we want to build an institution of that caliber in the country, but that's going to produce future CEOs and leaders of the development sector. We've progressed quite quite a distance, and our short-term programs for people already working in NGOs and corporates will start by about August of this year. And by next year, in 2017, we are hoping to start the postgraduate program for development management. Something that makes this endeavor particularly unique, and I haven't come across any such story anywhere in the world, and some of you might think it's foolhardy, is that this is being attempted by a bunch of professionals, mostly from who are IIM alumni, none of whom come from big wealth. Most institutions across the world have been built by people who had a lot of wealth and started with that. So this is quite a unique sort of a journey, and our ability to sort of pull this off and to succeed will really have a lot to do with the support we receive from fellow professionals, fellow alumni, who have so far been very helpful. I mean, the initial people have been our batchmates, but we are counting on that support, and we believe we can pull this off. We've chosen ourselves to be a Section 8 not-for-profit company, and the reason to do that is to be a role model NGO in ourselves and put ourselves up to the highest levels of transparency, scrutiny, governance, and compliance. I'll just close by inviting all of you. Like I said, it's a journey that's only going to happen with a lot of you joining, to sort of come on and be part of this journey and hopefully leave a legacy that will continually make a difference to the large sums of money being spent in the development sector in the years to come and make a huge difference to society. And you could come on to a website that we have. It's called www.isdm.org.in, ISDM being Indian School of Development Management. And you could sort of register yourselves and put your names there. And we need all sorts of contributions. So we need time, we need money, we need introductions to people who could be very valuable. You could be sounding boards. So whatever it is. So how we will tap your value, you can leave it to us. But if you feel this is an idea that you'd like to be associated with, please come on to our website.